Why have you waived your right to an attorney, Mr. Mill?
Why did you think I wouldn't want one?
I told him you wouldn't want to hide.
I have nothing to hide.
Basic Instinct is one of those movies that got more appreciated the more time has passed since it came out. What I mean to say is that at the time, the controversial movie was considered salacious due to the excessive nudity and sex. But as time goes on, people understood Paul Verhoeven's vision for it and how one actress, pulled from relatively obscurity, did something amazing. Even if she did kind of regretted it, more or less. So, is the movie any good? Let's find out. I'm Meffistoe, like, share, and subscribe because this is my review of the movie, Basic Instinct.
Did you kill Mr. Boz, Mr. Ramel?
I'd have to be pretty stupid to write a book about killing and then kill somebody the way I described it in my book.
Basic Instinct came out in 1992 and starred Michael Douglas and Sharon Stone. And it starts off with a violent sex scene that turns into a murder scene of one Johnny Boz, a retired rock star and a club owner. Among several detectives, Nick Curran, a troubled San Francisco detective, is called to the scene and charged with following up Catherine Trammell, a crime novelist and Boz's girlfriend. After tracking her down, Catherine seems to welcome the investigation and takes a real interest in Nick's life. She is brought to questioning, and we get this famous scene.
There's no smoking in this building, Miss Trammell.
What are you gonna do? Charge me with smoking?
As the investigation progresses, Nick gets romantically involved with Catherine, regardless of the fact that she's the main suspect in his case, and sends him spiraling down the path that leads him back to confrontation with internal affairs.
There's no smoking in this building, Detective.
What are you gonna do, charge me with smoking?
Moreover, Nick discovers that Catherine is hiding a lot of things from him and from her past, especially her involvement in another murder investigation and her friendship with a well-known murderer. And it is especially weird that she knows things about him that only IA and his therapist know.
But you know all about homicidal impulse, don't you, shooter?
Paul Verhoeven created a psychological thriller that was scandalous in its graphical sex scenes and nudity. But moreover, he created a noir film. But like a few noir films in the 90s, it was not shot like a classical noir, meaning there was no play on shadow and light. This was later replicated in LA Confidential and in Payback. The movie also draws a lot of inspirations from Hitchcock, both in the story elements, where Catherine is obviously playing mind games with everyone around her, especially Nick, and in the way Verhoeven and his cinematographer framed their shots and chosen San Francisco to be their location. They brought elements from Rear Window and Vertigo to play on the eyes of the audience. And Verhoeven adjusted Joe Esterhouse's story to reflect those mind games that Catherine is playing with everybody else.
I ask you not to call me shooter.
Okay. How about if I call you Nikki?
My wife used to call me Nikki.
On a personal note, I have seen the movie a few times in my life, and every time I was at a different age. When the movie first came out to home video, I was a teenager and I wanted to see it because of, teen horniness. And in later viewing, I was more interested in the story, but never thought the movie was particularly smart. However, since starting this channel and starting to pick apart movies and learning more about what made the creators make their films, I found a new appreciation for older films that I've watched before. This one is no exception. Putting aside the sex and the nudity parts allowed me to really appreciate the detective side of this film and how really close it is to an Hitchcockian movie. Especially because it is not your typical solve the murder case. As the movie goes along, Catherine plays tricks on Nick, and you never really know if she's manipulating him for her own pleasure or trying to avoid getting captured. This movie is deliberately ambiguous and sends you down two distinctive paths that make Nick go crazy, and that is the whole point. We, as the audience, go crazy along with him, trying to figure out what the truth really is and who the true murderer is.
You sold her my file, didn't you?
Who are you talking about?
Catherine Trammell. How much did she pay you?
Sharon Stone, who was considered a B or C level actress at the time, was cast after a long line of famous actresses that turned down this movie due to various reasons, mostly due to the graphical nature of the sex scenes and the nudity. And even after she agreed, it took about 3 months before she got approved for the role. Michael Douglas didn't even think she was right for the role because he thought the role demanded a big-time actress. He thought that the part needed legitimacy of a well-known actress because it was going out on the limb when it comes to a mainstream Hollywood movie. It was Paul Verhoeven who insisted on Stone because he worked with her on the movie Total Recall and saw something in her that was key to unlocking the character of Trammell. Verhoeven explained that Sharon Stone can turn on a dime from aggressive to demure.
Doug. Honey, you wouldn't hurt me.
And it is that exact quality of Catherine Trammell that he thought Sharon Stone embodied. The part, of course, made Sharon Stone a household name and an A-lister in Hollywood. I will recommend you pick up this movie to watch. If it's your first time watch, brace yourself. But please, try to look past the sex and the nudity, and you will find a smart psychological detective thriller that feels like a new school Hitchcockian movie, but not really. It's well acted, well shot, and well directed, and it leaves you at the end wanting to rewind and look back on the clues and the things that you missed in order to figure out what the hell is going on. But be sure to clear the room from children, because this one's a doozy.
She knew I'd say she did it, and she knew that nobody would buy it.
She is screwing with your head, Nick. Stay away from her.
I thank you for watching, and remember, hope is a good thing, maybe even the best of things, and no good thing ever dies. I'll see you on the next video.